Yes, here we are. Here we are. Henry, you confirm that we are live, we are on air. Here we are. I know, I've got to cut. Henry, you confirm that we are live, we are on air. I've just got to cut the sound of, because as you know, I mean, for our viewers who are arriving, I'm with Gergana. I will introduce her in 5 minutes. We are, of course, waiting. It's 5 o'clock, but we are waiting for a few minutes that people continue to arrive. And just as a reminder, we've got a formula that is quite interesting, because we are on a Zoom meeting at the moment with Gergana, and we have linked this Zoom meeting with our YouTube channel, and you are seeing us live, but we are not actually on ourselves on the YouTube thing. It's the marvels of technologies that are developing and that allow to discuss about all sorts of topics with people from all around the world. I've got one more thing. Henry, could you help me? I need to place the chat, the live chat of the YouTube. Where is it? Oh, you've got it on your screen.
Yeah, it should be right here. Cet onglet en haut à gauche.
If you can, because then if there are questions, here we are. Yes. If there are questions, people can ask questions. I'm just going to send a message. Hello, everyone. So if you're online with us, you can probably see us and see the live chat. So if you have questions, hello. Oh, this is a Swiss guest. European Snow Sport is joining us, a big ski school in Switzerland. We were talking today. I think we've got some Dutch friends who are visiting tonight also, who were already on air at 4:30, but they were a bit early, and so they have reconnected.
Passionate for the start.
Yeah. We've got visitors from Slovenia. Hello, Slovenia. How are you? Hello, Holland. I hope you are all well. Rafters. Hello again from Switzerland. Yes, the Swiss Rafters are joining. So that's we've already got 6 different countries represented tonight. And then, of course, this video will be online on our channel. Peter, hello, Peter. You are still in Holland, or have you moved to France now? We will be online, and you can diffuse this. You can share this link with your friends, or with your staff, or with your business partners, with whoever you think might be interested in these topics. It's now 5:05, so we're gonna get gently going because we don't want to wait for too long. As mentioned, I've got with me tonight, this afternoon, I've got Gergana Nikolova. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you are based in Bulgaria at the moment?
Yes.
Correct. And you are representing a very well-known organization, which is?
The Adventure Travel Trade Association, or ATTA for short.
ATTA for short. And your position within ATTA, you are?
I'm the regional director for Europe and Central Asia.
Excellent. And you are based in, as I mentioned, you are based in Bulgaria at the moment. And with the marvel of, Peter is in Holland, so we've got a lot of people everywhere tonight, which is good. we have met a while ago with Gergana in a very interesting meeting about windmills in Greece, and if I'm not wrong, and the impact of windmills on tourism. I was astonished by the consequences of these huge windmills on hiking and the business, and we had a very interesting webinar, and that's how we met. We have, of course, we've known each other for a while with ATTA and ECHO, but we've decided to work a bit more together because ATTA is more, of course, as you know, as probably some of you know, into travel, into the traveling itself. We are more, we are representing more people on the receiving end with our, because most of our members and partners are members of members are companies that that deliver services in the outdoors. We don't represent many people who actually organize the travel and the residential issue. It's more the position of ATTA. So we are very complementary organizations, and we have decided to try to do more things together, probably have an exchange of membership, or we will see in the coming months, but it's looking promising. Tonight, this afternoon, I don't know why I want it to be tonight already. It's
probably wine time. It's wine o'clock.
Maybe I'm desperate for my French aperitif. And this afternoon, we have decided to run this project together, this webinar dedicated to what may happen, what could happen, what will maybe happen after COVID, after these lockdowns that we've been through, after the closing of the ski resorts this winter, how all this is going to restart. What can we expect in terms of changes, opportunities, and challenges? We have exchanged about this with Gergana, and I will Gergana will be starting the discussion in a couple of minutes. Of course, we cannot tell you what the future will be. We are not astrologues, whatever they may be right, and we can't tell you if Saturn will be aligned with Neptune and with the moon. But discussing with members, we hear things. And the object of this afternoon, Gergana, is to pass on the info that we have heard and the ideas, the remarks, the mentions that our members have made. You have prepared a presentation to launch this webinar. I'm going to let you place it on the screen, and if you want to get going on this first linked adventure travel and the outdoors webinar, I will let you introduce it. Maybe a few words about ATTA first.
Yes, well, thank you so much once again for the opportunity, and definitely it's been some time on the radar to discuss more collaboration. And actually, since we have also active participation in the chat, it would be also interesting to hear what those that are listening today, or probably they can follow up also via email, would expect from a collaboration between our organizations, because we may not think of everything that might be beneficial. So be proactive. Absolutely. And support us, because we both organizations are here for you, to serve you and to enable you to be better, to continue with your businesses, with your ideas and strategies.
And if I see comments on the screen, I will pass them to you during the presentation.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I closed the YouTube link because it would be distracting. As much as I'm trying to be good and multitasking this is my limitation.
No, but it's terrible because there are 15 seconds difference between
Yes.
you and what our auditors are seeing. And if you watch yourself at the same time, you get lost.
Exactly. I tried and it doesn't work.
No. It doesn't work.
Yes. I definitely, here's a brief outline of the next probably 15-20 minutes of presentation that I would like to take you through. And I will start with some trends. And as Jean-Yves mentioned, that the idea is to pass the what we read, what we hear from our community to in a digestible way to present it to you as opportunities. All of us are very much impacted. ATTA lost about half of its team after COVID hit. So, and we are a private organization. So it is a business company. And this is it. There was no way for us not to be impacted. So we are together with you in this challenging time, and something that has been always kind of a way for thinking is to look when there is a crisis or where there is a challenge to actually search for the opportunity in it. So this is the mindset in the next slides. And I will talk a little bit about who we are and kind of present the definition that we use and our members, our community use for adventure travel. And then we'll share some ideas that might be worth for you. So I would like to start by sharing how Intrepid, which I assume most of you know, is one of the biggest players in the adventure industry, if not the biggest, how basically they changed also their language during COVID. While they have been known for their Where to Go in 2021, I think this was released, their guide, their tips usually go out, their guide goes out in November each year. They actually shifted their language into how to go in 2021, because we know that the traveler is changing. So while we don't need to focus on all the aspects, but I would like to focus on the human-powered adventure, regenerative, sustainable travel, and kind of go slower. The other, of course, two recommendations are also important, but I want to focus your attention into this. We at the ATTA, of course, also monitor what destinations do, and Scotland is one of our longtime members and partner. So how they shifted their strategy in this case is about, again, focusing on slow tourism. Here, the human touch, I think, oops, yes, I have circled, I added some circles on these slides, on these topics that I would like to focus, but they're not showing up. So the human touch and again, transformational travel, responsible travel are also on the focus of destinations. Switzerland is another destination like this. Sweden with their focus on circular economy. This is just one example. Another example, another source of information, resource of information that we monitor, of course, is Euromonitor. And in their Travel 2040 report, they focus also attention on adventure and nature experiences, focusing that on camping and ecopods. So I believe there's this kind of, oh, and one more slide. This is coming from, again, Euromonitor's report, but actually it's from Google Trends. They've been monitoring the terms that travelers are searching. And we can see very much that adventure and sustainable travel are pretty much on the rise, and there is quite some interest comparing to the other types of travel. So this kind of gives us hope and opportunity. Yep.
I've got one comment that because we discussed together in a preparatory meeting that we had the other day, and Intrepid, do I read well that they've got 1,000 escorted tours? That's what you said. That's what you write here. I mean, for a company that size to move when they talk to their customers, to move from where to how is a massive indicator. It's
absolutely.
It's because I mean, 10 years ago you would hardly have thought, or 5 years ago you would hardly have thought that the how would overtake the where.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I thought it was very interesting, and it indicates they are doing this because they also notice this change of the traveler behavior. And now it is more of our responsibility as the service providers, as the industry experts or industry players, because we're not for the entire industry experts, but we're in our niches, is actually how we communicate further to respond to the traveler expectation and needs. So, yeah.
Which leads, and I've got a comment here from Holland arriving that says, we are now shifting to how, and this might become a why one day. And
yes,
which is true. If we take the
very much
step further, is why do I go there? And it's but in the approach of tourism and leisure, it's very new. It's very as a mass business. There's always been people thinking, how do I behave? How do I do? And why? But to use it as a massive a view, or as a key point in when you sell 1,000 escorted tours, you're not in a niche market. You are addressing the people. And
absolutely,
this leads to another example that we mentioned together. I don't remember how I got to hear about it, and you said, "Oh, I've got info on this." That was Venice and Barcelona.
yes,
because I was mentioning that the mayor of Venice was addressing the issue of whether they should accept cruise ships in a massive way, like and you mentioned Barcelona. What was your experience with Venice and Barcelona?
So both Venice and Barcelona actually united. The industry came together and reached out to their local communities, and together are coming up with strategies on how tourism should further happen in these destinations. And while we saw 2 years ago or a year and a half ago all these protests against tourism and the discussions on basically creating a war between the local communities and the tourism industry, I think, again, trying to look for the positives from COVID is that when there was no tourism, they realized that actually tourism is very important for their destinations. And while you might not be a service provider, you are part of the chain in this entire huge service industry. And this also is a message going to politicians and to governmental decisions that tourism is a very important sector, cross-cutting sector. And it is important that together we hear each other. Now is the time for collaboration. Think together how to impact positively a destination. And by saying a destination, of course, the economic side, but also how this impacts local people's lives. And for example, what Catalonia are right now doing is they're working with their local industry in creating local-only menus for the travelers. It might be a smaller menu from the offerings, but it is only from locally sourced products. And this is a way that someone who is in agriculture actually will benefit more from tourism. They not all need to be offering accommodation, not all of them could be offering guiding services and so on and so forth. So that spirit of collaboration is definitely something that is changing throughout our industry. And this is how now Venice, the exact name, I will check it right now, of that collaboration that started in Venice, is leading to success. And it is great to hear how now, when there is basically no tourism, because we work with destinations closely and we understand how much, and we are also advising them on how to put their strategy to prevent again over tourism. Now is the time when there's no tourism, when it's low time.
So you confirm that these sort of destinations like Barcelona and Venice, they also are questioning how people should visit them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is very interesting, that not only travel organizations ask themselves, how should I do that instead of where should I go? But on the receiving end, people also are saying, hang on, you can come back, but how are you going to come back? That's another question. And it shows that it's a strong, it's a very strong issue.
Absolutely. Yes. I just checked, and that community-based initiative in Venice is called Venezia Authentica. So if someone wants to search for it to see what they're doing, totally is a great example. Another good example, and we can go back to the slides, but as we agreed, we will keep them as kind of a direction for the conversation, even if we don't go through all of them. Everyone is free to reach out to me to share them after that. At the end, my email is listed. Anyway, going back to this, a very interesting initiative was also was initiated by Uffizi Museum in Florence, again to prevent over tourism and overcrowding, but also to support the rural areas. They worked with the regional, the museum started on working on a strategy with Toscana Promozione, the regional tourism board. And actually they are dispersing the famous paintings throughout different parts of Tuscany. And that way people don't need to go to the museum only so that they can see them, but they can go and visit small rural agriturismo locations and experience this with some wine and with some good food and so on.
So all that to say that the examples you give can be added to more with Scotland, with Intrepid, with Barcelona, with Venice. It is a strong trend that seems to be getting on to how do I do things, and as our Dutch friend said, maybe even why do I do it, and do it in a purposely way, rather than just because everyone goes there and because it's a tick on my Instagram wall.
Yes, no longer. If until a couple of years, people could be really putting on their strategy to look good in front of their investors, what is their responsible strategy. This is no longer. People are paying close attention, and we don't expect, I think that this is one of my slides later, that people will continue to be monitoring closely the behavior of destinations, of service providers, of brands and companies throughout in the future because of this. If they're purpose driven, if they are sustainably, if they have their sustainable behavior, thinking about their partners and not only their stakeholders, but basically throughout with all the shareholders, not shareholders only, but all the stakeholders are involved and benefit. So
don't worry, Gergana, most viewers this afternoon are not English native speakers.
That's good.
yeah, we all Europeans, and so we
absolutely, yes.
We don't expect anyone to be fluent in English. Let's carry on, Gergana.
Yes. So you asked me to share a little bit about ATTA, and all this information that we discussed so far kind of is like a music to our ears, because it gives us the hope and the opportunity to look for the future, and to believe that what we've been doing for these years before, it makes sense and it will be even more valuable. So who we are a mission-driven organization representing the adventure travel community around the globe. You can see here, our mission is to serve the global travel community to protect natural and cultural capital while creating shared economic value. Our community is made up of about 30,000 individuals who share a belief and commitment of sustainable tourism. These are guides, service providers, associations, accommodations, media, tourism boards. Basically, the entire supply chain is represented in our community. For over 15 years, ATTA has been basically in the driver's seat of inspiring the development of adventure and outdoors active and responsible tourism throughout the globe. We bring the people together, the people behind it together. We feed them with insights and inspiration, support their activities, facilitate new business opportunities, promote the adventure tourism opportunities in destinations. So this is what that circle of like 360-degree of services highlights. We, as I mentioned, we have quite a good representation of membership, and about majority is in North America. And here you can see that about 1/5 are in Europe. And of course, we started from the States, and we are growing our presence there. And we continue also to grow our presence throughout the rest of the globe. And now we have teams representing the different parts of the world. So this is, of course, helping with that growth. If anyone is interested in learning more about membership, you can find this on our website. There are different levels for businesses, for organizations, so no need to, that's not the purpose of this call, just wanted to mention.
But it's always good to make your own advertisement while you are being on the webinar like this.
Thank you so much. Yes, well, worth mentioning, since we're a membership organization.
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot of our members, a lot of viewers are strictly outdoor providers. And as I mentioned before, they don't cater, I mean, they don't necessarily look after accommodation and travel. Some do, but a lot don't. And they do what we say in French, it's dry service. So they supply the service of kayak, of rafting, of skiing, but they don't look after the accommodation and flights. You do, and it's interesting that people get to know you better and get to know where you come from, who you are, and again create possible synergies. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously, we all know what adventure travel is, but being each one of us an individual within our own world, very often we have a different understanding. So just wanted kind of to bring us all together on what we at the ATTA and our community is using as the definition of adventure travel. Whereas in the past, adventure travel was understood to be extreme and risky undertaking. And basically, adventure travel is a mix of natural, physical, and cultural activities. Now, even as the traveler evolves, these days, travelers say their motivations for adventure travel are an expanded worldview, a challenge, impact, some kind of a challenge or transformation, and sometimes this could be this challenge or transformation could be physical, cultural, and oftentimes transformational. Also, a kind of misperception, which also is very often perceived, is namely on the hard side of adventure travel, actually about 90% of what our members offer are the so-called slow or soft adventures. So this could be nature walk with photography, or hiking and wildlife watching, or cycling and exploring the rural areas, as we just mentioned about Tuscany and going to see some of the paintings, culinary classes and culinary experiences, and farm tours. Obviously, all of this could be combined with kayaking, with cycling, with any of the other more active experiences. It's just that which are what we understand of outdoor and active tourism, but it doesn't exclude any of these experiences.
Of course.
Um,
it's always very, I mean, we are amongst most of our viewers this afternoon are professionals, but it's very often it's very interesting to clarify these issues, because when you go to the outside world of active travel or active leisure or outdoors, you get some misunderstanding about who we are. I mean, I remember walking into an office in London 3 or 4 years ago. We were trying to negotiate an insurance system for outdoors, and the guy turned to us. I was with Herman Smulders, who was the president of ECHO at the time, and one of the key guy in this insurance business, he said, "So are you the guys organizing barbecues?" And we said, "Yes, but not just." And it's always, even if we're amongst professionals, it's always very interesting to have precisions on the type of activities we all do, because we can be misled very quickly.
Well, we have similar situation when we are always associated with bungee jumpers and skydiving. Yes, it is.
There are some,
but it's a small niche. Exactly.
Yes.
So just some data, which also I think that it kind of can put us more on the positive and the optimistic side. It is a little bit already dated, the data, old, but at the same time, it kind of demonstrates the trend of the growing demand of adventure travel. So back in 2018, in our report, we issued that adventure tourism was valued for about $683 billion industry. And definitely this is not something which we can call niche any longer, where we have been put for years. So we hope that we will be able to invest. It's quite an expensive exercise to put value on the industry. Now, based on the various trends that we see and we hear more and more ministries looking into nature and outdoor tourism, we believe that this trend will continue, and actually adventure tourism will be one of the first ones to recover. I promise. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying that it's always very important to know, and you pronounce the word ministry, and we know it in the outdoors, that politically, when you start negotiating issues, norms, standards, legislation, whatever, with your minister or us, with the EU Commission, the first thing they ask you is, what's your weight?
Yes.
How much
exactly.
do you weigh? How many people do you employ? And if they judge that is satisfactory, they will listen to you.
Exactly.
If they judge it's not sufficient, bye-bye.
Exactly. Well, this is actually a great transition to the next slide, because very often also ministers are used to report on the number of travelers. And this is kind of a pain conversation for us, because more people bring more damage. And that's why we kind of try to illustrate on this slide the opportunity, the economic opportunity that adventure traveler bring to a destination, that for adventure travelers are enough to create the same local economic benefit. And this is where it is important to comment on the value of the industry, because when you tell them, well, we will bring 12 travelers, and they're like, 12? I can speak with these other guys that are waiting after you, and they'll bring 212. So it's really about how giving the full picture and the opportunity. And the next important aspect is that adventure travelers leave 65% of what they spent in the destination. So this is a very, very important aspect of the economic opportunity from adventure travel. And obviously we see what mass tourism leaves in the destination. It is also important for job creation. And I believe all of us here on this call really well know this. So no need to further spend time on that. We mentioned, I hope that this kind of gave us an opportunity to be on the same page, know who we are. And the next part would be more referring to the changing traveler and how they are changing due to COVID. Obviously, we are still in COVID. We don't know how the traveler will continue to evolve and to change, but we know that COVID-19 will leave forever, basically a deep mark on the attitudes and expectations. So the post-COVID travelers will continue to be different. People are looking for opportunities to be back on the road. We see that huge now peak in various destinations. I had a call a little bit earlier with one of our members from Greece, and she said these past 10 days was just insane. It is sleepless nights. I'm so happy that I was able to find another person who can help me. So it's so exciting to hear that now we are looking for, again, bringing more people on our teams.
Yeah.
So people are eager to be back on the road for sure. That said, these travelers are not our old travelers. They will be expecting more technology and virtual solutions. Hygiene obviously will be a non-negotiable, so it is very important ahead of time to communicate about it, to demonstrate throughout the entire trip the safety of the entire experience. People will be looking to be away from crowds, and that's why destinations are responding to kind of taking them out of the major hubs. They will be looking for contactless solutions. And the best thing is that people are eager to be outdoors and physically active after all these lockdowns.
Yeah, definitely. This is the core of the impact and the potential of the possibilities and that's very good information for our viewers. We will continue completing it and mentioning it, but this is these changes are key changes, and it's and they are here to last. I think they were pending, but COVID triggered these issues and made them sort of blatantly obvious or becoming blatantly obvious. So yes, it is moving.
Yes. So we will continue to monitor the changes of the behavior, and for sure this will be interesting exercise. And as we discussed, we will focus on the trends that are already fairly certain, and we will be looking for, we are kind of presenting the opportunities along with this.
So this is for our viewers. This is key info. You can record this.
Yes. So yes, we need to be thinking about the opportunity, and this is how we're always, after we fall, this is kind of the first thing that we're trying to focus on. So there's no question that the industry will never be the same. So while we're coping with the lack of market activity, or we've been coping until now, we know authorities have been spending resources into crisis assistance. So we can be flipping these these funds into opportunities for the future, and if these grants continue to support the recovery, we should be looking for investment in an improvement of the infrastructure, in innovation, as we already commented a little bit earlier about community builder, basically how all of us to come together, to be holding hands together, to be listening to each other, and to kind of stop with our ego, or to lower our ego, and to allow our, until not so long ago, competitor actually to partner with them, because that way we will be stronger and we will come back in a more attractive way. And the second part, of course, as we already mentioned, invest in contactless solutions, outdoors infrastructure, and visitor flow technology, because people will be looking for ways to stay away from crowds.
We will mention it again, but this issue of new way to collaborate between companies is extremely important. It's something that a lot of people who join organizations are aware of, because they are used to collaborate within the organization. But very often, as soon as they leave the organization, they become competitors again. And this mention is quite important, that because of the changes in organization, the changes in approach will be necessary. It looks like cooperation, collaboration will allow to cover a larger scale of services, because not everyone will be able to do everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and not everyone.
Exactly.
And we, because we also have less funds available now, I believe co-op marketing would become even more attractive. Why not a regional businesses from one destination join efforts and create together a campaign, instead of each one of us individually to be trying to promote our accommodation or do this activity. Together we can be stronger and can make something more of a quality and attractiveness. So definitely it's important, both from both sides, from from coming from more mature destinations. There is an understanding, and they are bringing the industry representatives together, but also industry representatives, associations like all these associations that are joining us, and they are bringing their own members. This is basically, I think that associations would be most important now for that recovery period.
I've got a comment from Holland that says, this means while the Irish Association of Adventure Tourism is joining us, or is saying hello from Ireland anyway, they may have been with us for a while, because we've got actually currently we've got 37 viewers and participants in, and I've got this comment about, says this means that providers should also stop the price war to get as many clients as possible. Prices are allowed to go up, so we can work with smaller groups. And yes, if there is a better collaboration, it could also be profitable, because if you only fight on prices, it brings the price down, that's for sure. If you start collaborating on who does what and how you can offer the whole picture by being different people, you can reflect that on your price, because you can keep the prices up. So it has an economic, it has an economic impact. But again, this is a new definition of the rules of the game.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And cards are being redistributed. And I liked it when you said, maybe it's time to restart cold marketing, because yes, we are at a time where the cards are being redistributed. And maybe as a small business where you were normally being in that category, maybe you've got a new role to play and a new partition to play, and you can approach people in a different way. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great to hear that we have the Irish Association. They are also part of our community. So it's fantastic to know that they joined as well. So definitely the pricing aspect is very important. It is something that is really killing the industry. So the price war, it's not the way forward. And definitely then the quality, the experience drops. And we see that people are looking for more value out of their experience. So definitely don't compromise on the quality and the value, but rather actually focus on the premium, on the experience. It might be less, but definitely to be something to remember, something for the traveler after that to know that it was totally worth to go there, to do this, to spend their money, which also is important to mention. We all, not only the travel industry is impacted, everyone is impacted. So our travelers are likely to change not only their behavior, but probably some of them lost their jobs. So that means that we will be inviting new travelers. So the next aspect, the next trend that I will touch on is care. And we already touched on the importance of care, kind of that mutual feeling of care in our communities and networks has really never been so much important. And I think that here it is important to mention, while we care about the travelers, again, the local communities are now becoming so much of a priority, and when we are thinking about the traveler experience. So even when we are referring to hygiene and to safety, it's not only about having the traveler safe, but our community is safe. Very often adventure travel relates to going to rural areas where you have elderly population. So even if you know that you're healthy, wear your protection so that you can protect these local people, because they're the ones that are making your experience unique. So this feeling of care is very important, and it will also stay for quite some time. So again,
for sure.
here some of the directions from so what part of care is adopt care for each other as a core characteristic of the services, and consider the care that care will relate to all the travelers, industry workers, local businesses, and basically the local residents, the entire chain of the experience. And people will continue to be, and brands, the traveler and the consumers will continue to monitor who continues that feeling of responsibility and care to be a good member of the society. And this is how they will be making their future decisions. The next trend is well-being, and we've been monitoring this trend on well-being for quite some time, but I think that now it is an important topic more than ever, on physical but also on psychological level. So what does that mean? We should be prioritizing well-being by weaving it across the travel journey planning, and consider it at every point, from how we travel, what are our accommodations, and to the food we offer, and the spaces that we use, and the services that we offer. And of course, also, it is important to start thinking of well-being as basically non-negotiable characteristic of the entire experience. I think that we're running quickly on the time. I have a couple of more slides. So the next aspect that
No, that's fine. We still, Gergana, we are fine.
Okay.
We are in time. And just one thing is that you may know that we have teamed up with the fitness industry for political reasons, because when we talk to the Commission representing active leisure, the outdoors, and the fitness industry, we have more voice and more power. And indeed, this issue of well-being is a priority for the fitness, but they see it more and more being played outdoors, and they hear the comments we have is that these partners, they hear about people mentioning that in the outdoors they also want to associate well-being. So associating well-being with outdoor and adventure travel is making sense. We have heard about this for a few for quite a while now, but with COVID, with the post-COVID opportunities, yes, I can confirm that it is an issue that is being talked in the clubs, in people within the leisure industry. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks. That makes me even more kind of comfortable that we all are on the same page. We have the same vision and the same understanding of how the industry is moving forward. So thanks for that feedback. The fourth aspect that destinations and businesses can do now is also, and obviously by now, COVID times, not now that we are reopening, is also to transforming the market mix and moving away from geographic identification of markets and focusing towards specialized profiling. So what do we mean? Is the markets for people of all abilities. And you mentioned before we started actually that this is the focus on your next webinar. So I think that it's also a good transition to it.
Yes, our next guest next month, I think, is or the month after, but it's in one of the coming webinars. I'm inviting on this channel a representative from a guest from New Zealand who specializes in offering solutions for disabled people and ideas and solutions, and he will be talking about this aspect of things, which is humanly an important thing to address, but for our business viewers, economically, the volume of people, the number of people involved is astronomical, because there are people with disabilities, either permanent or temporary, because of many reasons, life accidents, but there is always with them, there is someone with them, there is one person, there are two persons, and at the end of the day, when you count people who are physically touched or mentally touched by something that affects their everyday life, the volume of the population is very big.
It is huge.
Yeah,
it is indeed, and
it's a human issue, and it is an economic issue as well. So it is of importance.
Absolutely. And there also, so also when we're thinking of people of all abilities, it is also important to think about that generation, the older generation, who probably during their earlier years have not been able to travel that much because they have been working, they had to take care of their children, and now they actually have the funds available, but they are already older, so they probably cannot go on a 7-day cycling trip. But now with e-bikes, actually it enables them to go and have that kind of an experience. So, and it is definitely an economic important market. So in addition to people of all abilities, we are also thinking about the and here actually I had a very good data on the people of people with some kind of a disability. 35% of the UK people are with disability. So definitely it is an important market to think about. The other one is extended stay for artists. So people who need to go out from their daily life, their daily routine. It might be a writer, it might be an artist who is assigned on a project and they need to relocate for 2 months, for 5 months. So it is also a good profile market instead of just the source market, looking at it as a source market. And another example came out from Barbados, and I think that now we saw also Portugal and Scotland, I think, and a couple of other destinations, inviting also people now that there's that trend also on people working remotely to actually relocate for a longer period and work from another place where you can spend the lockdown, so to say, but in a different scenery. So in summary, some of the key takeaways that I hope that I was able to communicate. Definitely we continue to be uncertain, to be certain about one thing, and it is the uncertainty. But also we need to be realistic that the crisis is not over. It will continue to bring different layers, and we need to be looking for the opportunities. And based on these changes that we see in the behavior and the expectations, we can be looking for the opportunities out of these changes, and continue to looking for the opportunities, as we are at the end of the day, while the travel industry is really impacted during these past 14-15 months right now. We in outdoor and active tourism, we are in the better position. So thank you for the opportunity once again to be sharing some of these trends and insights that we monitor. And definitely am looking forward to staying in touch, and am open for any further questions and comments.
There might be some. I've got some comments for you. I mean, yeah, we have in the outdoors, we have when we address the issue of safety in the outdoors, we normally use five topics. We use the management, we use the environment, the animator, the guy on the hill or in the raft, the tool that they use with the client, and the client. And that's the key 5 aspects. And you've just summarized, and for our outdoor specialist viewers, within these 5 issues, I've noticed some words or some key messages that are of particular interest. And just to rehearsal and to reshuffle them before while there are questions maybe coming up or comments. For management, I hear that the international travel remains or was a great industry and remains a great industry, and that as a business, with 65 people, 55% of people within the adventure travel remaining in the country, there is room for domestic market, and that's a good opportunity for the outdoors. And there might be a shift of holidays or there will be a shift of holidays.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So the management needs to be probably more versatile and more adaptive to these changes, with a key issue that you mentioned, which I find very interesting, is this collaboration, complementarity, sharing issue that has been done in the past. I mean, of course, there are people who've been collaborating, but it should be addressed even more. And that's probably one of the new trend in the future, that the management has not necessarily a habit of addressing. In the past, it was a bit more, I do my thing, you do your thing, so that's a good advice possibly for on the management side.
Yes, transparency and communication and collaboration, absolutely.
Yeah. On the environment, there is an issue that will be there to stay. We know the change in environment and the way we have to look at the environment and the awareness of our clientele. We all know that the leave no trace issue that has been in the pipes for a while, it's becoming more and more important and for everyone. So the environment is also impacted by what is happening, and I can only advise our viewers and all the pros to continue addressing with the new perspective these environmental things. For the clientele, the third aspect of the outdoors, we have mentioned the change in perspective and issues like social distancing, or even things like plane shame that we didn't mention today, but it's an issue that, you know, our clientele is changing, and our traveler type are looking for new issues. There was the mention of well-being and psychology, which is becoming again a very important issue for our customers. The technical aspect may be decreasing. The technical need may be decreasing in the motivation of our clientele. So that's something we must take into account when we are designing our products and when we are designing our approach to the customer.
Absolutely, cannot agree more. And definitely the sustainability aspect. Basically, as we mentioned earlier, that well-being should be a non-negotiable aspect of the offering. Sustainability actually also should be, and we see that also as a changing expectation from the traveler. And we have also leading destinations in our industry, for example, Switzerland. They announced their sustainable strategy, and they want to become the most sustainable destination for the traveler globally. So there is a reason for this. The traveler is changing, and we need to basically incorporate this throughout the entire experience.
Yeah, the where and how is very is essential. And yes, is it going to be? I'm taking ski resorts. It's an aspect of things I know very well. For the time being, the war between ski resorts has been on the number of lifts that they've been able to, or the kilometers of slopes they've been able to provide. Is this going to last? I'm not sure. It's interesting our clients so much anymore. Okay. The fourth issue, and that's a key one, is the staff, is your animator. Because if you as a business want to be able to react to these changes that are here to stay, we are going to have to train our staff, and not to train them onto how to paddle faster or to ski better. We're going to have to teach them how to cater psychologically, intellectually, philosophically, with passion, with investment in time. And the era of I'm a good ski instructor because I can ski like a demon, I believe, is totally over. I've always believed that it was on the going down trend. I strongly believe that now we are entering a new era. How exactly is it going to be? I cannot read in a crystal ball, but we can see from what you mentioned, and who can take all this when he's with or she is with the clientele and deliver what will be required. The person who uses his brain, and the soft skill trained person.
Yes.
And so we need to address it differently in the future.
Totally. And it is very interesting that you mentioned this. Definitely. I mean, the safety aspect, being the pro and knowing how to ski, knowing how to deliver a safe experience is exactly. It is about adding that additional layer, overarching layer of value, of experience, of a memorable experience. So definitely it is super important, and we do have the profile. We are going in deeper also into the profile of the adventure traveler, and what are the lasting moments, and what are they looking for as an experience. So definitely the soft skills, the communication is very important. Going back to the pricing war, it is very important that we don't underprice or try to fight for a lower price, so that we can keep the good quality personnel. And I believe that one of the challenges right now in the recovery would be the fact that we lost as an industry a lot of a lot of talent who actually went and searched for other opportunities so that they can survive. That said, I also, flipping it into the opportunity, I believe that people have been burning out now during this one year, staying inside, and they will be also looking for ways to actually shifting their career. So we will see also new players that are coming out of passion, because they have been kayaking and now they're opening their smaller company because out of passion they want to be doing this. So this shake in the industry is also in front of us, and we need to value our staff, our team, those that actually deliver the experience.
For sure. Excellent. Gergana, it's been a very good hour. We've been together for an hour. When we first spoke to each other, you said, "Oh, maybe we're going to spend 20 minutes or 25." I said, "No." Normally, there was a mass of information, very interesting information. Of course, this has been recorded, and the slides appeared in the recording, so
Perfect.
It will be for sure easy to. We've had between the review and the live, we've had about 40 people tonight with us. So I suspect that the view within the next 10 days will probably be 100 professionals watching it. So 1 hour together, I don't see, I mean, there's been a few comments. There is not that many coming up now. So we're gonna leave it for tonight. Gergana, it's been an immense pleasure to see you again and to exchange with you tonight.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Top job and top information for our viewers. We will be in touch again very soon, because we've got other communication projects together.
Awesome.
In the meantime, thank you very much. In the meantime, all viewers, we've got our next meeting is our next webinar with ECHO is in June. So it will be a Thursday, the third Thursday, Henry, 17th of June. Thank you very much. Glad I've got someone to help me here, because I'm not very good with these dates. So 17th of June, we've got congratulations here from our Belgium friends, Want Adventure, our Belgium members. Thank you for being with us. Thank you. Slovenia is encouraging us as well. Thank you all. We'll see you on the 17th. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye, Gergana. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. On the 17th, I will be enjoying vacation, so I may log in or listen after that, because the topic will be very interesting. So thank you once again.
Thank you all, and we'll see you in June. Bye-bye.